I worked on testing it. We'll see. Okay, so what are we looking at right now? We are looking at a few different programs as well as like an extra couple of video feeds here. So we have grid tracker on the top right. This will show us kind of what call signs we're seeing live. On the left is our ham radio kind of program, main program, WSJTX. It is essentially a digital mode transmitter and receiver. So on the left, we are seeing messages from all across the world. Messages highlighted mean different things. Usually it's kind of like a new call sign, but just in various ways. So for instance, this green just means they are new to me, or they called CQ. And so there'll be different like highlights depending on if I've been able to contact that grid or not. All right, so the beeps I'm getting are from Grid Tracker, and those beeps are kind of telling me if it's a new grid, new location, things like that. So, and I'm DM14. I think Grid Tracker is trying to say that that's a new location for me. So, for instance, CO2YQ. I didn't see that here. Let's see if we see that anywhere. CO2YQ. So Grid Tracker showed us that that's in coming from Cuba, and we can see the message here. I don't think they called CQ. I think we just kind of saw their previous conversation. So, well, it looks like this says they called CQ. Okay. So on the bottom, we have our RF graph. So these kind of blobs are messages that we're seeing on the RF spectrum. So messages last 15 seconds, and we are operating at 14 megahertz. And so these numbers at the top of the spectrogram are the RF, or so hertz offset from 14.074 megahertz. Okay, so with all that being said, let us try to actually talk to somebody. Don't know if it'll work, but we can give it a shot. I tend to have more luck responding to CQs versus calling CQ myself. CQ just means like looking for a contact. So we're going to wait to try and see if we can see somebody. It looks like this guy is calling CQ from Portland. I'm going to actually go back and have this highlight. Okay. So let's see. DM34 is probably not long distance. So this CQDX means he wants to only talk to people in long distances. All right. Let's try talking to this guy if we can. All right. It looks like we pulled up a picture of him. C7REK, Robert Keenan. We could probably go walk over to his house and say hi, but instead we're overcomplicating things by talking over ham radio. So let's see if that works. All right, so he called CQ. I responded. You can see my radio, the amp meter and the transmit meter going up. I turned down the transmit power a little bit because I know he's local. So it's transmitting while it's red. Oh no, sorry, just while we saw the amp meter go up, that's when it was transmitting. So let's see if he responds. And he did. Okay, so how to read this. On the right is the receive frequency that we're focusing on. The yellow is what I'm transmitting. The red is what we received that is directed to me. So KJ7BDC is my call sign. K7REK is his call sign. The number after, so in this red message, it says -2. I think it's supposed to be like -2 dB below reference. Those numbers don't mean a whole lot because like the reference could be really high somewhere else and really low high in one place, low in another place. So it just means kind of like -2 below whatever like noise average he's seeing. So the way to kind of understand that is, or the way to in practice is what I found is that um, anything between like +10 and -10 is normal. Anything really above zero, it's very rare to see anything above zero, to be honest. Anything above zero means the signal is going to be pretty strong. Anything between 0 and -10 is reasonable. He's probably going to hear you pretty loud and clear. Anything below -10 is going to be iffy. So now what we're doing is, so you can see that my program popped up with another window asking me to confirm the following QSO. So QSO means like completed contact. And this is going to have a bunch of different information. Transmit power I like to put in, so 25 watts. And so this is saying that he says that he heard us. Oh, no, sorry. We heard him at -6. He heard us at -2. The grid refers to basically just like a grid that is overlaid on top of the US in kind of different increments based on how many letters is in the grid. So CN85 is this grid right here. So you can see that I've talked to 3 other people in that in this grid. And so you can see like this grid in Utah is DM37. This grid in New York is FN42. So the first 2 letters are kind of the really wide grid, and then 85 is like, I think, the grid within CN. I could be wrong. I don't exactly remember how all that works. Okay, so let's click OK. And what that did is it logged it to my Ham Radio Deluxe program. And so this program now will also logs it here, and it also sends it to a website called qrz.com. And so we can see that if we look at my logbook, we can see the contact here, Robert E. Keenan. So potentially what can happen is the reason you use logbooks online is that other people can also confirm their contact. And if both people confirm a contact, then it's like everybody agrees that we made contact. And the reason you do that to kind of confirm contacts is because you can kind of go for like competitions and things. Now this is kind of interesting. So what this is this is a map of all the people who heard me. So this is saying that 3 minutes ago, somebody in Portland heard me. Let's refresh it. Okay. And 10 minutes ago, somebody in Alaska heard me. So this was kind of with me testing. I was having a lot of issues streaming. If you might have saw some of my other failed streams trying to get audio issues worked out. I think I have it solved now. So, all right. So that is all that. So we're going to keep those minimized, and we're just going to take a look at some of this stuff. Now, there's a lot of keyboard shortcuts that it's been a really long time, so I don't really remember. I think I can do Shift for red and regular click for green. Yeah, okay. So let's start trying to talk to people. So what I'm going to do is everything is in 15-second window blocks, basically. It's kind of like a time-based protocol. So I'm going to wait for the next round, and we'll see if we can see someone that we want to respond to. All right. Let's respond to KR7DX. We are transmitting right now. I guess you can see that we're transmitting with the TX. You can also see in the video feed the PO power level was up to, let's see right there, it was up to like 20 or 30. I think I set it really low for talking to that guy in Portland, so I should probably crank it back up if he can't hear me. Let's see if he heard me. He did. He heard me without me cranking it up, so that's cool. It looks like I was transmitting at about 40 watts. You can kind of see the 20 and the 50 on the bottom meter. The top meter is just the amps, so that's just saying I'm pulling about 6 amps from the wall. And so he responded that he can hear me at -3, which is pretty good, and I'm responding that I can hear him at -12, which is probably pretty normal because it is really loud on the RF spectrum inside the city of Portland. So even though he might be transmitting really, really strong, it's hard to cut through all the noise since I live next to like big industrial parks in the airport and stuff like that. So we made a successful contact. WSJTX is going to offer me to log this. I should probably put my transmit power a little higher. And we're going to click OK. And the ding means we did it. So where was this guy? He was in DM22. Did I catch where that was? DM22 down here. Nice. So we made a QSX with him. Looks like I can't do that, so let's lower that. Okay, cool. All right. And that is really it. I mean, that's that's the extent of how this is going. So we're just going to try doing this, and I think the fun of it is trying to get more grids filled in. I tried to kind of import all my previous logs so that I should know if like I am talking to if a new okay. So all those beeps basically meant that Grid Tracker saw someone that I had never talked to yet. And this guy's in Hawaii, so that makes sense. I have not been able to reach Hawaii yet. So you can see the little green blip right there in BL10. I tried transmitting. I doubt I'm going to get through because I also forgot to increase the transmit power. But, who knows? We'll see what happens. Okay. So here in the grid tracker, you can see the red dot is kind of me transmitting. You can see all the graphs on the actual physical equipment go up. But at the end of the day, we didn't hear him respond. Now that could be because like our reception of him is spotty. Or it could just be that he didn't hear us, so he never responded to us. So I increased the power. This is kind of the power slider on the right. I increased that a bit, and so you can see now on those graphs down below, we're drawing another maybe amp or 1.5 amps, and we're showing that we're transmitting at like 50 or 60 watts instead of 40. Transmit watts are a little weird because it's all on a logarithmic scale, so the difference between 40 and 60 probably isn't going to make a difference. Even though it's 30% more power, effectively we want an exponentially larger number of watts to actually make a difference. So I think we are going to try one more time and then we'll give up. All right. Now, one of the other things that happened is that when I double-clicked his name, it automatically switched my transmit window, I guess, or the frequency that I'm transmitting at to match his. And I don't actually like doing that. So we're going to halt the transmit. We're going to switch our window here, and we are going to say hold transmit frequency. So what that'll do is that'll make it so that when I reply to someone, it'll transmit at the band that I had selected, rather than the band that, or at the frequency that I selected, and not switch my frequency to match his. And that helps because usually, like maybe his a lot of times a lot of people will not unclick that, and so there'll be a big pileup. And so you can avoid the pileup, avoid the congestion by sticking on the same frequency. Now it looks like this guy responded to somebody else, K7REK. That's the guy we were talking to earlier. So you can see this black line, right? He responded to the guy I was just talking to instead of me. So it would be rude of me to keep transmitting. So I'm gonna halt the transmit and look for somebody else to talk to. So let's see here. Nope, no CQs that time. So this is the other thing is like, you know, part of the art of here is like, you know, setting your transmit frequency to avoid other people being quick on the draw. I think I already talked to this guy, didn't I? KR7DX. Yeah, we already talked to him. I don't know why. So, like, what should be happening is that my program should not highlight him if I've already talked to him, but I don't know why it's not doing that for me. So. Reset highlighting. Huh. So I like new grid and new call, but maybe we don't do highlight CQ. All right. So this is saying, so I guess by the program not highlighting this message right here, K2PS EL98, I think that means that we've talked to him already. I don't actually remember that call sign, so let's go see if we've talked to him or not. So in my logbook, let's type in his call sign, K2PS. This is that's not a search field. That was an intro field. Let's actually search. So this says I've never talked to him, and yet for some reason it's not highlighting it as like a new call sign. So that seems weird. So anyways, we will continue to truck on here, try to respond to somebody on CQ, and we'll just ignore the weird technical problems that we're having so far. All right. No, nobody called CQ that time, so we just get to wait. We can look, try to see like what else is happening. So we can see here somebody's talking to LA, somebody's tried talking to New York. No CQs yet though. So I could, well, somebody's talking on that same channel that I was. All right. So that's our other buddy, KR7DX. So let's set the receive band somewhere else so we don't have to listen to them. All right, so that was a CQ. Let's wait to see if there's another CQ coming. So the same guy, KR7DX, so we'll just kind of wait for him to go away, or just wait for somebody else to call CQ and we can respond to them instead of the same guy again. All right. So we're not really seeing anything, there's not. I think part of the ham radio experience is just being patient. Realizing that you can't control everything. You get to instead just wait you can be impatient by trying to call CQ. So let's try that. Oh, okay. I think the transmitting. I'm going to select transmit on even. And I think, which means we get to wait one more window. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen any more CQs, but that's all right. Okay, so we're going to start, we should start transmitting here at the next window. All right. Oh, yeah, that should be going. It looks like maybe my video feed is broken. Let's try stopping and restarting it. There we go. And of course now it's reset, so fun times. Well, that's a bummer. I spent all this time cropping the video, make it look pretty, and it's not having any of that. It just forgot all my settings as soon as I switched the video. Oh well. I think I was at somewhere around 750 and what, 300? Yeah, that looks good. Oh, somebody responded. Stephen Metzger in Portland. Cool. Is it gonna auto respond? I think it did. Yeah. Okay, cool. I should increase my transmit power here. I usually wait until it's done transmitting before I press OK. I find that the program likes to crash if I don't do that. All right. So that's kind of how that works. When you call CQ, you just kind of keep calling CQ until someone responds, and then the program will kind of auto respond for you, which is nice. So, yeah, a lot of people would say that this is kind of cheating. It is a lot less work because I'm not like actually picking up the mic and talking to the guy. I think those people are stupid, and I think this is actually kind of fun. I think the fun in it for me is the collecting aspect. You get to collect call signs, collect grid numbers, try to get a new grid, try to at least get a few new grids each time you go out and contact people, and then yeah. So let's try talking to this guy. I don't know why it doesn't show him as a new grid or a new anything. EL98. I mean, does it say that I've talked to other people in EL98? It doesn't. So I think maybe my database is a little confused or something. I'm not sure. So that red line is kind of where we're trying to transmit to, and it looks like he probably isn't going to be able to hear me, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, looking at here, it looks like there are people in Florida able to receive me. So it's not crazy. I don't know what this big thing is here, but over the last 30 minutes. Okay. So what this world map is kind of showing me is that I am transmitting pretty well. I am, my antenna's working. It's just maybe that guy isn't able to hear me. And maybe that's because he's also in a really busy area. Maybe it's noise. Maybe other people in his area are transmitting on the same frequency that I am. There's lots of reasons why we can't be able to talk to each other. All right, so I think I'm gonna click this back, highlight by mode, and I am just like not sure why it's my database is getting confused about who I have and haven't talked to. So it makes for a little less entertaining when usually like a new color will show up and you go for the new color really quick. Let's see here. So we are talking to NR 6 AM in DM 12. Let's see if he hears me. It's a little bit closer. I would think that he could hear me. If I click this, does it work? I don't know. That's all right. There's a lot I still need to figure out about this grid tracker program. A lot I need to figure out about this WSJT database and why it's showing some people as me having talked to and not others. All right, so I usually give up after 3. Erase WSPR hash table. Open log directory. Oh, okay, he responded to me. So let's respond back to him and see if he can hear me back or finish the conversation. So the way the conversation goes is that it's kind of these 5 messages in sequence, and we each taking turns go. So like if I am number 1, then I'll transmit 1, 3, and 5, and then he'll transmit 2 and 4, or vice versa. So you can see how he transmitted 4, I transmitted 5. And that is it. So now we just made a contact in somewhere around San Diego, I think it said he was. Sometimes it's kind of interesting to like go see who you were talking to. Like if we click this, Francis Niviera in San Diego, California. I mean, we could go copy this address, go look him up. Let's see here. I mean, we could go see if his antennas are visible from the street, right? Let's see. No. Look at that. His antennas are visible from the street. His house is very pink. Yeah, and there's that probably is like a second antenna that he's running. Wow. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, that is FT8. I will probably let's go for a little while longer. I gotta stop the stream around 2:15 probably. It looks like we might be able to catch 1 or 2 more people if we're lucky. Let's see here. All right, let's try talking to this guy. Now, I don't know what he means by JA. Maybe he's trying to like talk to a certain grid. It's not clear to me. KGOMN in St. Paul, Minnesota. All right, so we called CQ again, which means they probably didn't hear me. So we are going to try again, see if we can get across to him. Meanwhile, let's look up Kevin J. Elliott. Oh, there we go. He heard us at -10. Cool, cool. And you can see his, his big ham radio antenna right on his house. That's pretty funny. It looks like there's maybe a second antenna in the back of his house, and then there's one right on the roof of his house. That's pretty cool. Hello, Kevin. All right, and we've completed the conversation without too much effort. That was nice. I'll wait until this is done transmitting. And we'll click OK. Boom. This guy has a really big homepage. It's quite in depth. He has a website. Let's go check out his website. There's his big antenna. KGOMN's Ham Shack. So he's running on a Kenwood. Sir? What? Okay, so we're looking at this guy's Ham Shack website, and first thing I read is, how do you want to plan ahead for your death? Let's read a few suggestions. Have you put any thought into what will happen to all your prized radio equipment in the event of your death or permanent injury that prohibits you from using them? Who will you appoint to either give away or sell your equipment so that the surviving spouse, partner, or sibling will not have to worry about this while they're going through one of the hardest events of their life? One of the first steps, in my opinion, and the most important part of making these arrangements is to identify every piece of hand gear that you value over $50 prior to your death or injury. Below is a partial list of some of the gear that my wife can use in the event that something should happen to me. This is an entire list, obviously. Oh, man. So, yeah, guys, I think, I really need to think through, what'll happen to all my ham radio equipment when I die. I mean, it's something you got to think about. What'll happen to your ham radio equipment? I mean, they're going through something difficult. They can't think about what is the value of an FT8 91 on Craigslist. Is it only 500? Is it maybe 600? Okay. Maybe we should get back to trying to contact people. What does this guy have? He has Phenomena kits. He has featured radios. Books for boat anchors. The majority of the radios you work on are boat anchors. This list of books will come in handy. I am slightly confused. All right, let's try talking to that guy. CQAK, maybe like Arkansas, is what he's trying to do, but we're going to be a jerk and talk to him even though we're not in Arkansas. Because, W0CES in Iowa or Nebraska. All right, let's check him out. Benedict, any Nebraska. I probably shouldn't have transmitted a second time. If he didn't hear me the second time, he's probably not very interested in responding to me. Let's see if he responds. Is he going to respond? I don't see anything on the dash, so I'm going to halt transmit. He doesn't want to respond to us lowly Portlanders. Okay. But we can still look him up. I don't see a ham radio antenna. It's a shame. All right. Well, let's wait for maybe one or two more contacts. Oh, I think this is the same guy. Let's not. Or yeah, I think I already did. I talk to KGOMN? Yeah, I did. Okay. So what this program needs is, like, it should be able to filter out or like tell me somehow if I've talked to somebody already. It's kind of annoying that it doesn't do that. I think it's supposed to do that, but something's broken because there were other people that were not in my log that it was not highlighting as wanting or as new, basically. All right. I don't know which one we haven't talked to yet, but let's try this guy. ACODA. Daniel Nordman. We haven't talked to him yet, right? I don't think so. Hey, we got him. Boom, EN34. Oh, we definitely talked to that grid before. That's all right. Oh, my mouse has disconnected. Likely because the... So, I think what's happening is that I think I'm getting like RF noise on the USB bus. All right. I'm going to wait for this to finish transmitting. And we will click OK. Bing. All right. See if anybody else comes up. Maybe we'll say 5 or 10 more minutes. N1JL. Let's try that. Rhode Island. I don't know if I've had a communication with Rhode Island before. Oh, I have. Let's see if it works. I'm talking over a guy. I need to move my transmit frequency once this is done. All right, I don't think he's going to respond. Let's just check. No. All right. Okay, everybody, I think I'm going to sign off for today. Thanks for watching. Let's see.